Hi, welcome to Meditation Monday. Woo, 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 woo. I love it. Today, our Meditation Monday is going to be a little bit different. It's Meditation Monday, but it's meditate on this. So, we're going to have a topic we're going to talk about today. If this topic is about you, tune in, sit down, relax, let me do all the work. Just listen. Hopefully, it will help and assist. That's the goal here. Before we go ahead and get started, I want to mention I'm sorry, my my book, Scorpio Sun, Pisces Moon. I don't know if you can see it from there. Anyway, it's available on Amazon and Kindle. Get yours today. Beautiful, beautiful book of poems. Um, it's actually been my lifelong dream to be a writer, and now I am a published author. So I am extremely happy about this. Go and get it. I'll put the link down at the bottom for you. Okay, let's get started. We are going to go ahead and take a few moments to get present, gather ourselves, breathe for a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and tap the Tibetan sound bowl, singing bowl, and then we'll breathe in for 4 counts, hold it for 4 counts, and then let go for 4 counts. Okay, we're going to do that 4 times. Okay. Hopefully you feel nice and relaxed after that. I know I do. Let's go ahead and shake off the day and shake off the morning and shake off the night. Dust it off our shoulders so we can get into this beautiful conversation. Thank you for coming to Crystal's Mind, Body, and Soul. This is going to be a little bit different. I'm super excited to talk about this. This would be my first time, not my first time, well, my first time in a long time talking, and I hope you guys like it. Bear with me if I make mistakes, please. Okay, here we go. Have you ever found yourself running into the same brick wall where it's like the same? It seems like you can only get so far in life, but you keep running into something. Like as soon as you get this far, then it's something. It's always something, right? Or someone, or some kind of issue. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, no matter what job you have, it just seems like you keep running into like the same issue. If you've ever had that issue, definitely this talk is for you. Um, Something to remember going forward is if you know anything about healing, growth, this spiritual journey, this journey of life, period, you know that you're responsible for your own actions. And so if it starts with you, then it goes with you. And if it goes with you, then it only ends with you. If it's something you're tired of seeing, then we have to do something about it. We have to unpack. So I'm going to tell you a short story about myself, and then we're going to go into seeing what we can do about it. So my thing was, no matter what job I went to, it was always one person that was just rubbing me the wrong way. Always one person, I swear, no matter what job I went to, it was just like, oh. And then it wasn't even just that. It would be, sometimes I would go into a job as in a line level position, and then when I'm getting ready to go up for the management position, they would hire. I would get so many accolades and so much recognition and stuff like that. So I know that I'm a shoe in for the position, and then when it comes down to it, they end up hiring somebody outside, or they end up hiring someone who just came in, only been here like a week or something, and it would drive me up the wall. Woo! It would drive me up the wall. So I started asking myself, and the thing is, it's not so much that I would ask myself a lot. So it's not like we don't ask ourselves, what is going on? Why me? Or whatever. We do ask the questions, right? But we don't know how to dig and unpack and ask the right questions, or we're not listening because our ego is blinding us because we're so angry. We're not listening for the answer. So I asked myself the question, why do I keep running into the same brick wall? It hurt. It hurt so bad, and I was tired of it, and I wanted it to stop. Um, that was the start of me learning how to ask myself the right questions to unpack what is deeply rooted. There's got to be something deeply rooted, you know, because it's happening everywhere I go. And everywhere I go, there I am, right? The common denominator is me, right? So what do I do? How do I ask the right questions, right? Um, so as I asked, I was answered. I listened, I stopped, I paused, I took time to myself, I sat in stillness, quiet, I meditated, and sooner or later, the answer started to come to me. And it wasn't like I didn't already have the answer. It's just that sometimes the answer is so deeply rooted and you push it down, you're taking care of bills, or you got to raise your kids, or whatever it is. Everything else is covering it, so you can't really get to it unless you force yourself, like I did. I forced you know I made myself take time out with myself and meditating and asking the question and sitting and waiting for the answer. So like I held space for myself, basically, to and was patient with myself to dig deep. First, of course, the surface is, I'm mad at that person. I'm mad at that person, I'm mad at that person, I'm mad at that job, I'm mad that this happened to me again. That's the surface, right? And so then I went deeper and I said, well, why do I think I didn't get it? I didn't get the job? Or why do I keep running into the same person or same issue? You know, what is it about me that's attracting it? Right? So I started digging, like, okay, and this was before I got deep into my journey. So I've always been on this journey. I've always been very intuitive, and but it was off and on within my life, right? So I would be on the journey, and then I get off, and I get on, and then I get off, and it's like I knew better, but I kept burying it, So I started asking, why do I keep running into the same problem? Why do I keep running into the same person, different person, same situation with that person? Or why do I have a hard time advancing in my job? Like, I know I'm doing really, really well. What's the problem? Well, then it came to me that there was some unhealed trauma, very deep. You know, when I was younger, I was abandoned by my mother, and my own father. You know, he, him and my stepmother raised me, but it was, and we're okay now. I want to say that, first and foremost, we are okay now. We are great now. It's just that back then, that trauma was with me, and it carried with me throughout my adulthood. I had kids with that trauma. I raised them with that trauma, and not even knowing that that trauma was very deep within, I thought I was doing a good job, you know. But it turns out that, being abandoned was caused anger in me that I didn't really express, for the fact that my own father was living with me but didn't choose me. It felt like he hated me. There was lots and lots of other things going on, that I'm not going to mention here. It's way deep, but he didn't choose me. So I think that after digging up and finding out all these issues, I was like, oh, so when those jobs didn't choose me for management and I got angry, what it did is it touched a soft spot inside where that wasn't healed. It was soft, and the issue poked me, like it almost stabbed a wound, and now it was bleeding all over. And instead of dealing with it, I was fighting, and I was angry, and I would dig my heels in deeper, and I would be mad. I would sometimes leave the job, and be so upset. And then when it come down to a person that I kept running into that was irritating me, I had to learn to surrender. So every time I would have that issue with that person, same person, different person, same issue, always they rubbing me the wrong way or something like that, I would get so angry. I would get defensive. I would get argumentative. I knew I was right, and I have a way, you know what I'm saying, to get around it and make them feel bad or whatever. And I just, like I said, I had to stop. I was tired of it and I needed it to stop. So I had to surrender. At some point in everybody's life, you're going to stop. You're going to have to stop, because it starts to weigh on you. It's like a brick, like many bricks on your back and in your stomach and in your lower back, and all that dark energy just sits there, and it's interesting because I didn't even realize that, my solar plexus, my sacral, and my root chakra were being, were out of alignment, and it started to wreak havoc on my organs. So eventually, now for many years I had issues with my gallbladder and I didn't know. Eventually I had to get the gallbladder out. One day it just got really, really inflamed. So it was like, for years, I don't know, every other month or so, like that, I would be off on my off days and I would be throwing up profusely, and I couldn't keep any food down or anything like that. And I thought, oh, well, it's just something I ate or whatever. And once I got my appetite back, I went back. I didn't know anything was wrong, and it got to be where those episodes became closer and closer together over the years as the years went on. And eventually I didn't get better. And I tried to go to work anyway. I was sick. I was holding on to the wall. I was sweating and shaking. It was, whew. But I was like, no, I got to go to work. I got to go to work. And this is like the prime example of how you just shove things down because, you don't want to think about it at the time. You don't want to heal. You don't want to stop and do the work, at the time. So I was like, I have to go to work. Somebody had to stop me. My boss stopped me and was like, you need to go to the doctor. So they actually that called the ambulance and they picked me up, and I got surgery like that day. I had surgery on my gallbladder. They had to take it out. It wasn't even removing stones or treating it or anything. It was taking it out. So I do not even have a gallbladder because I sat there and allowed that trauma to just sit in my body for years, ever since I was a child, not knowing how much havoc it was wreaking on my body and my body, therefore my energy, therefore the things I attract into my life, my manifestation, my chakras were off. I mean, I need you guys to understand that when trauma happens and you do not deal with it, it just festers like mold. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It grows and grows and grows. And your ego, now don't get me wrong, your ego, this is going to be a show for another day. Your ego is important for when you need to defend yourself. Your ego is important for when you're afraid of, let's say there's an attacker or something like that. You need to stand up for yourself. And so we need the ego. So it's oftentimes that we overuse the ego and we put him in front of everything, because we're just so used to allowing that to take place instead of our higher place. And again, that's a story for another day. We are going to talk about that ego and many things, but ego oftentimes gets in the way of us healing because we are so busy shoving it down, pushing through, paying bills, paying rent, taking care of the kids, loving on the husband, just daily stuff getting in front. And then what happens is we get into our old age and we don't have to work anymore, or we don't have to, the kids are grown and out of the house and you got all this time. Well, now all that stuff starts to bubble to the surface. So I'm here to say, try one of my 30, 60, or 90-day programs, because I do not want you guys to wait until you get old. You don't want to wait until you get old and it bubbles to the surface and you freak out. You don't know how to handle it. You're not ready to handle it. You don't want to because you're stubborn and you're stuck in your ways and you think this is who you are. Well, you're not. There is a higher self in you that is begging to be released. There's a light in you that is begging to shine loud. And your body is screaming for you to deal with your unhealed trauma. And for me, it was childhood trauma. For you, it may be trauma from from being in love. It may be past relationships. It may be something that happened in kindergarten. You don't even know. You have to dig and dig and dig up what's buried underneath in order to find out. I can help you with those questions. I can help you with unpacking trauma. Now, I want to make something clear before we go ahead and stop. Surrender, what I mean by surrender is not passive. It's not passive aggressive. It's not turning the other cheek. It's not cowering in the corner. No, what I mean by surrender is opening yourself and allowing space for you to heal and grow and learn from the experience that is in front of you. Because if you do not, then it's going to keep happening. Like I said, that same brick wall is going to keep coming up. It's going to keep coming up. It's going to keep coming up for you. And you have to. I mean, sooner or later, you're going to get tired. You're going to fall to your knees because it's so heavy. You're going to get sick. Something is going to, it's like an alcoholic and or something having a rock bottom. Something is going to happen where you're going to meet your rock bottom and you're going to be forced to deal with these issues. So what I mean by surrender in this context means to change, to open, to allow healing to begin. The way you start to open, this is something that I practice with my clients all the time. Learn how to open. Go to your safe space, whether it's in your car or out on a walking trail or something like that, and scream. I know it sounds crazy, but you're going to scream. And I mean, from the diaphragm, you need to scream it out. Scream it out. You need to get mad. You need to get real mad. mad at the fact that you haven't done the work, mad at the people that you think did you wrong, mad at everything. You need to get really mad. You need to say it out loud. You need to say the names of the people that you think did you wrong, that is in your story of your trauma, because you are validated. You are allowed to hold space. You are allowed to create this healing for you. So go somewhere where you can scream it out loud from the mountaintops, or you can scream in your car, whatever it is that you need to do, scream, get it out, say the names. Okay. Once you're done screaming, you're gonna need to, the next phase, and mind you, this may take a while. The next phase of this is forgiveness. Now, I'm not saying you have to go to the person and call them and say, "Oh, I forgive you." No. All of this has to do with you. Again, like I said in the beginning, it starts with you and it ends with you, right? So you're going to allow forgiveness to come up. Now, at first, real talk, you will not want to forgive. It will not feel genuine for you to forgive. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. All you have to do is think about, if you did something to someone, would you want them to forgive you? Yes, you would. And that's where your forgiveness is going to start. So you start from a very real place of, I would want to be forgiven. That is real. And then you forgive. And that little tiny bit, what will happen is that you're allowing that little bitty space to open up. And the more you say those names and the more you forgive, the more that space opens up more and more and more. And it becomes easier and easier. And then sooner or later, you're saying, "Thank you for this lesson. Thank you for the blessing. I send love and light to them." You don't have to be their friends. You don't have to ever talk to them again. But in your quiet space, in your happy place, you send love and light to them and you forgive. Okay. Now here we are with this big, huge space wide open, giving, 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 right? Now it's time to give back to you. So now you're going to take your arms and wrap them around yourself. And this is going to feel funny at first, but you're going to hug yourself. You're going to hug yourself in the way that you want to be hugged. Now, for me, I love the face thing, right? So I love doing this. And you're going to say things like, "I love you. I love you, Crystal. I love you. I love you no matter what. I pour love and light into you. I forgive you. I forgive you for taking long to come to your healing. Now is the time. Now is the only time. And I thank you for doing it. I thank you." You're going to ask your spirit guide, source, universe, God, whoever your higher power is, to come near to you now. Come close to you now. Hold you now. Pour light and love into you now. Replenish those open spaces with love and with light, and start healing those organs in your back, your spine, and your shoulders, and your brain, and your crown. Now you're going to start asking for the universe, source, light to come all through there and clean and clear all of that. And this takes time. This takes time. But we can do it together. We can do it together. I'm going to put my online shop in the link below. And you can go there and you can order one of my programs, my 30, 60, or 90-day programs. I help with so many things. This is just one. But if this sounds like you, if this feels like you, please do not hesitate. Maybe even leave a comment. I mean, you can absolutely go to my Instagram, which I will put below as well. DM me for a free consultation. No one else has to know. We'll take you step by step through the process of starting to heal instead of waiting. You don't want to wait. That's what you don't want to do. Anyway, before we go, I just want to say thank you so much for listening to me. I know I get a little preachy, probably a little loud, but I'm very passionate about what I do, and most of all, I'm very passionate about you. So thank you for coming to Crystal's Mind, Body, and Soul. Um, Come for the message, but stay for the healing. And we're gonna go out with the bang here. Thank you again.